Welcome. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. And we have our great co-host who is finally not on special assignment investigating all sorts of things that we cannot discuss on the radio. Dun, 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 dun. Lindsay Mann.
Hey, Brian. Thanks for having me on the show.
It's a pleasure. And not only that, but you have thousands and thousands of followers that just can't wait till you get on the show every week. Well, for those of you who have never, ever listened to the Ask Brien Radio Show, and by the way, everybody knows there's only one way to spell Brian. Mr. Engineer, how do you spell Brian? Brien. Because there's only one way to spell Brian. Brien. People that spell it Bryan, Brian, they just don't know how to spell. I don't know what, maybe you need to go back to school. Maybe that's the problem with this generation. They don't know how to spell Brian. It's Brien. That's the only way to spell Brian. People that have never listened to the Ask Brien Radio Show, Ask Brien is a concept that was created based off of a website, Ask Brien, AskBrien.com. An Ask Brien website allows business community owners to ask other business community owners questions. So, if you are a dry cleaner in Alabama and you're a dry cleaner in Hawaii, even though you may be far away and have different laws in each state, you are dealing with some specific issues. I had a client come in, I couldn't get the stain out. Well, you can ask that question. It doesn't matter if you're in Hawaii, Alabama, Alaska, you're going to have the same issue. So you have a business community on Ask Brien, AskBrien.com, where you can actually ask the business community. Also, we have experts. Now, to qualify as an expert, you have to be vetted. We don't allow anybody just to become an expert on Ask Brien. In order to, one of the criteria we do like to use is 10,000 hours. People ask me, well, where did you come up with 10,000 hours, and is that a strict requirement? 10,000 hours is if you work 40 hours a week, 50 hours a year. If anyone can do math, we're going to ask our guest, Isaac, can you do math? 50 hours times 40.
Up to 10.
What is that? 5? No, it's 2,000. You should have asked an expert on Ask Brien. You would have known the answer.
I like the
Sorry,
10,000 hour thing, though. I like the 10,000 hour thing, though.
So we do believe in that. We do believe that if you are learning a subject, if you're learning something, you do not understand what it is until you actually have 10,000 hours of experience. Now, if you have 10,000 hours of experience, that is not a guarantee that you can become an expert on Ask Brien. You may be able to become an expert, you may not. And you may have 1,000 hours and become an expert on Ask Brien. Anyway, why do we have experts? We have experts because we want people that have knowledge that can help people out and solve their business problems. If you do become accepted as an expert, you do have the ability then to put on videos. You do have an ability to schedule your webinars on the Ask Brien National Webinar Calendar, which is similar to DirecTV's guide, where you can list your webinars and schedule them to try to get more clients for you as an expert. The experts also allowed to post blogs, their website, and ebooks. So it is a really, really good thing to become an expert on Ask Brien, and we've had quite a number of people that have qualified to become experts that are experts. We also have quite a few listeners that have actually signed up for Ask Brien. Now, that is the Ask Brien website. This is the Ask Brien Radio Show. And at this show, what do we try to do each week? We try to teach business owners something about business. And how do we do that? We bring on our experts each week to try to have them explain something about some subject matter. So our expert today, Isaac Rau, is going to be talking about plants, right?
Well, there's no
Plants.
EIN in my name, but in Bronstein there's EIN.
Well, of course.
So that's why you have EIN right in Brien.
But, it's Brien, and Bronstein is STEIN. So it's a little slightly
okay,
different.
that's right. That's right.
So you're going to talk about plants and pathology, right?
Unfortunately not.
I thought that was your expert category.
You
Lindsay, you told me he was a
the wrong
plant
person.
specialist.
You got the wrong person.
Vegetation.
Yeah.
Going to talk about digital marketing, SEO, reputation management, website design and development.
Okay, so we're going to ask you a question about PPC now.
Uh-oh. I can talk about that too, but How long are we going to be here?
Well, it's a 10-hour show, and we're going to be here for 12 hours because we're going to be doing a sit-in beginning at 1:57, which is our cutoff time.
Okay.
So, and by then, though, the entire management team will have already been in here. But before that, let's go over a little bit about your background. Not everybody knows who you are, how you became an expert. So, and I'm not going to go back to, when you're 5 years old, rollerblading down the streets on Venice Beach or skateboarding at the park there. But people would like to know, what is your background? What makes you an expert?
So I was kind of in the right place at the right time in the late 90s when the first internet boom was happening. And I was in Santa Monica. I was living in Santa Monica. A lot of companies were starting up out there. So I got a job in 99 at an e-commerce company. And I learned about affiliate marketing, design. I was doing some graphic design there as well. And it was for an e-commerce company. And they sold remote control cars, remote control airplanes, things like that. So this was 20 years ago.
So they were selling drones? A
A
remote control airplane?
They would be selling those now if they were still around. So got in early there. So got a taste of it there. Then I went over to an agency, and I'm still in West LA.
It's not the Central Intelligence Agency, is it?
Unfortunately not.
Okay.
Unfortunately not. I'm not that guest either, Peter. But hey, man, it's really good to hang out with you though. I haven't seen you in a while, so I drove all the way up here to hang out with you, Peter.
Yes.
Straight up.
We appreciate
Straight
it.
up.
Give me your hand.
So.
No. Yes. Okay.
So we did a lot of graphic design. We had some really fun companies to work for, Vans.com, cheaptickets.com.
The shoe company.
The shoe company.
Lindsay mentioned Vans at one time to me.
I love Vans.
Yeah.
What did you go to school for?
What's that?
What did you go to school for?
Economics.
Economics.
Yeah, UC Santa Cruz.
So how did you learn graphic design?
So Photoshop.
He was doodling in class.
There's one thing I tell my employees is after your shift's over, after your work week's over, you can go home. You can watch the Laker game, or you can, pick up a manual. Back then I went to there was this Borders on Westwood Boulevard.
Borders,
that I
what
went
is
to.
that?
Borders bookstore.
A bookstore?
And I would
What's a
go in there,
bookstore?
and there was a coffee shop, so I thought it was really cool how you could just get any book you want and then just go drink coffee, and I'd be in there for 3 or 4 hours.
And then
go
return the
home.
book.
I'd go
Put it
home.
right back on the shelf,
I'd
right?
go home, and obviously I'd be working on those platforms at home, Photoshop. This was like Go Live, Illustrator, different web editors, and then got into coding, got into databases, and then starting to put sites together back in 2000, 2001. So I kind of learned it, and also I was also taking classes at SMC, Santa Monica College. So I was kind of doing that 3-prong approach: working, taking extra classes after I got my degree, and then doing stuff on the side.
What do you do for fun?
What did I do for fun? I actually played in the Westwood Rec Basketball League, which I got my first client out of there, just naturally, just organically, because we actually played this team of all dentists, and that was one of my first clients.
None of them had teeth, right?
They all had good teeth. They all had good teeth, but I'm still good friends with some of the people I met there. So yeah, it's kind of a three-pronged thing. If you work at a digital marketing agency, there's only so much you're gonna learn in 40 hours. You got to do stuff when you get home, even for 10 minutes. I mean, read an article for 10 minutes a night.
That's a great point I want to point out. So you work 10 minutes a day. You work 5 days a week. That's 50 minutes. That's nearly an hour. Nearly an hour.
Are you talking about your clients or whose
I'm
clients?
talking about you.
Okay, I got you.
But 10 minutes a day, you can do 1 hour a week. That's 50 hours in a year, and in 5 years you've got 250 hours.
But the 10,000 hour, back to the 10,000 hour thing. Steve Nash, the basketball player, talks about 10,000 hours. If you get 10,000 hours of a
Wait,
sport,
he stole it from me?
if you get 10,000 hours of a sport before you hit 18, you will probably get a scholarship, or you'll probably end up a pro.
I'm going to write a book on 10,000 hours.
From the age of 4 to 18, that's 2 hours a day. 2 hours a day. Play a sport 2 hours a day from when you're 4 to 18, you'll get a D1 scholarship. So I like the 10,000 hour rule.
Well, don't you need skill?
Well, you also
I mean,
yeah
not
you need
10,000
the
hours.
mental part. You need the mental part is just as big.
I mean, I don't think a midget is going to get a basketball scholarship.
Well, clearly, practice makes perfect, right? He learned all the graphic designing just by going to Borders right after work.
It's kind of
this is-
funny because there's no bookstores anymore.
No YouTube
There's
back
no
in those
bookstores.
days, right? Was
No,
YouTube?
no,
What about
no,
Amazon?
no YouTube. I think Amazon was getting kicked off back then.
No, I'm talking about
But
bookstores.
but 20 years ago, people were too scared to buy things online. They didn't want to use their card online. So you would hear that even 10 years ago. You'd hear that. Oh, I don't buy anything online. I don't buy anything online. They were worried about the privacy of their card.
And now they don't
getting-
worry about it because they know it's going to be gone.
But you could go to a restaurant too, and your card can get stolen there. The information can get stolen from a restaurant, because every time my card information's gotten stolen, there's always been local purchases done, which makes me think that the information was stolen at a
Right.
local establishment. So
From
like
one
I
of
go
the
to a
employees.
restaurant, maybe one of the servers takes a picture of my card
Yeah.
and creates creates a mirrored card, and then uses it because it's always local.
So let's go over that point. That's a good issue
Yeah.
here. We're going to go spend a little time on security. So you own a local restaurant, and I own, I don't know, the New Hall Refinery.
Mhm.
Have you ever heard of that place?
Well, we just dined there. So
Okay. And so my question is, and I just used my credit card.
mhm.
I paid the bill. Anyway, how am I going to protect myself? How do I know I'm not going to get home and find out that I got a charge on KHTS for buying pretzels and at the across the street at the store across the street? How does you protect yourself?
That's a good question. That's not my area of expertise. If you're not going to pay cash and you're using a card, you could maybe I see some restaurants now where they give you an iPad and you run the card where you're sitting. So
Well, does that protect you? I mean, you still have to. The card is still going into a database, and they still are capturing the information to run the charge. No.
yeah, but then it's going through merchant services, and you're going through a third party, super compliant merchant services company.
Well, when the restaurant.
But at least there's nobody at the restaurant gonna do anything. So
You're saying your belief is that the restaurant waiter and waitresses, and this is not directed at any specific entity, they're taking the charges and keeping it. That's how they're committing this type of fraud.
you're opening yourself up. You could have a disgruntled employee anywhere. It happens a disgruntled employee in anywhere, medical practice, anywhere. That's why the HIPAA stuff is so important in medical practices. Because you have people with access to all kinds of info.
So what can the restaurant owner do? Because we have a lot of clients, some of them are restaurant owners that are listening to this show. What can a restaurant owner do to protect themselves so that customers are not going to come in and get their information stolen?
Well, like I said,
iPad is one.
Everything is automating. Like the automation has gone nuts. So,
The apps these days are so sophisticated.
Mhm.
If you have a card, you make purchases, you're able to go onto that app and see, what's happening, what's going on, and usually you get notifications too. So, I don't think that's if you're talking about on the customer point of view as opposed to the merchant point of view.
I'm talking about more for the merchant because the customer does have some protection, but what does the restaurant owner do? Because if the restaurant owner was determined to find out that they had a bad employee or somebody was able to access their system, that would hurt their reputation. And that's the next subject we're going to go over, reputation. So how can they protect themselves?
that's kind of, that's a little your area of expertise too, to make sure they have their policies with their
No, I just sue them.
employees set up.
Sue them.
There's always going to be security problems, and that's why you need a proper engineer to always constantly be updating the system. Yeah.
So if we're building a website
Mhm.
for a restaurant and they do some of their orders online,
Mhm.
okay, would you be able to protect them so that their customers' cards information could not be taken? How would you do that as a web developer?
They would have to pay online. If they're going to pay online, yeah, we could totally bypass anybody in that restaurant from seeing any of their information. Correct. But it would go just straight to the merchant services.
But even before the internet, okay, and now I'm going to really date myself, but in the old days, when I ride my pony to school, anyway, they would have a credit card. You put the credit card down there, and get a carbon copy of that, right? right? So how is it any different? You know, why is there so much more credit card fraud now? Why couldn't the restaurant owner employee do the same thing back then and just take a copy and put it in their pocket?
There's just more access to the different tools to create these type of things now. I mean, you can order anything quickly. You can order anything to fabricate anything or duplicate anything now. Simply. These are probably a lot more difficult to find these things before.
So we're going to go off this topic, but the last question.
But this is not my area of expertise. Like, we're just brainstorming right here.
Well, that's the way to go, because when you brainstorm, you come up with new solutions. So, last question, then we're going to go on to reputation management. But in order to protect your reputation, you obviously need to have good systems in place. What would be the best way that you could protect somebody who had a restaurant that is taking credit cards, so that the restaurant won't be having that card be used by other people?
Mm-hmm. That's a question. I don't have the answer. I don't have the answer.
What if
to
you were
that.
building a website for the restaurant and they had a cart on their site? You built carts for companies that has websites. Other than using a third party company, what could you do?
No idea. No idea, my friend.
I don't
no
know
idea.
if it's just me, but I feel like Brian over here is asking the same thing like 5 different ways.
I'm waiting for the answer.
when I get my first restaurant, I will think about these things. I will think about these things.
Can we go back a little bit to how he started when he started his business? You know, hiring employees, and how did that process work for you?
So, employees.
Started off with how many?
But when we start off with employees, one thing I wanted to do, you know, I grew up near the 405 and the 10 freeway, probably the most congested area ever. You know, I saw a lot of people with 2-hour commutes, 1-hour commutes. It's not a big deal. Like, a lot of people do that, but I thought it was a big deal. I saw people kind of unhappy, and unhappy people are going to be unhappy workers. They're not going to perform. They're not going to perform for their clients. They're not going to create great work, great art, whatever they're doing. So that was the one thing I wanted to do, is just hire people that live 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away. So that's one of the things we've stayed to. You know, everyone lives 10 minutes away. They can pick their daughter up from preschool if they need to, because they're 5-10 minutes away from their life. But I think in 50 years we're going to look back at this time, and especially in LA, and be like, what were we doing? We're on the road for 3 hours a day. You know, it's kind of insane, but also it helps with employee retention too. They're going to stay longer.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to stay a lot longer. They're going to be happier.
Yeah.
So
That's great.
Isn't that in contradiction, though, to remote? Because I hear a lot of people, they're using remote developers in Croatia and New York and Wyoming and whatever, and this whole economy that we're talking about, the gig economy, you know, with Upwork and all that stuff. So that's kind of a contradiction. So are you saying that employees that work in your office are all your employees are working in your office, or do you have people remote?
Well, we have our core team in our office, but if we need a Python, you know, if we need a Python programmer.
Snake?
I don't have an in-house
You mean a snake?
full-time Python programmer. So I'm going to outsource the globe I'm going to crowd share the globe to find somebody, the best person.
How are you going to know that if you don't have that background?
I'll find it.
Lindsay
find
knows
it.
about Python, by
Find
the
it.
way.
Oh yeah.
So we have about 1 minute before break. So
Did you start this business with one partner? Was it just you? You have a partner?
Yeah, so you know, we had a couple partners when we started, and then the business has been around for 9 years. So
Are you guys
it's
all
changed
still
hands a couple
together?
times. We're not together anymore,
Okay.
but you know, it's changed hands over the last 9 years.
Yeah.
So,
Have you ever been into any legal issues?
no, he's not allowed to discuss
here
those.
and there.
Under
here
advice
and
of
there.
counsel, you're not allowed
Here
to
and there.
discuss those.
No,
And
you know,
in taking a step back too, you know, so talking about Google, I think I found you on Google, right?
Yes, you did.
I found this guy on Google, so he's been a good friend of mine for 5 years, and I've met a lot of people through you too. So it just shows you that when people are looking for things, you know, I mean, growing up in the 80s was all about the yellow pages. Now people are on their phones all the time. You know, I went to the mall the other day, and there was nine kids just standing around in a circle on their phones.
Yeah.
But I guess they were communicating with each other, but they were like this. But then if you went to that same mall 20 years ago, they were in a circle talking. So that's how much people are on their phones now.
We got to go, but
Okay.
why don't you text me the next question? Okay, we'll be right back.
The city of Santa Clarita has so much going on this year. Be on the lookout for amazing events happening throughout the year, including the Cowboy Festival, concerts in the park, Thursdays at Newhall, and the Santa Clarita Marathon. There are also a number of fun activities and things to do year-round, including outdoor recreation, hiking and bike trails, adult classes, art exhibits, youth sports programs, and more. You can even sign up to be a volunteer. Learn more at santa-clarita.com.
Live life juiced up at Juice It Up Valencia. Come in and try our great tasting smoothies, protein shakes, acai, and wheatgrass for your healthy lifestyle on the go. Also, enjoy our 10 flavors of tantalizing zinc frozen yogurt and selection of healthy toppings. Juice It Up Valencia is located at the corner of Newhall Ranch Road and Copper Hill Drive in the Office Depot Plaza. Open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. until 9 p.m. and Sundays from 8 until 8. And remember to live life juiced up at Juice It Up Valencia.
We salute the combined efforts over the many years to make Castaic High School a reality. Many behind the scenes did the hard work. The past and current William S. Hart School Board members, Steve Sturgeon, Joe Messina, Bob Jensen, Linda Storley, and Dr. Sharice Moore, Superintendent Vicki Enbreck, Castaic Principal Melanie Hagman, and so many others. We at the Castaic High School Construction and Spirit Companies are honored you allowed us to be part of this amazing project. Now, let our kids and our teachers perform their magic.
What if you could wake up without the burden of owing over $10,000 in taxes to the IRS or state? Call the trusted name in tax resolution, Anthem Tax Services, 866-630-2694. With over 30 years of experience in tax preparation and tax law, we are ready to negotiate your tax debt and reach a settlement that makes sense for you.
Anthem saved me nearly $17,000 and settled my debt with the IRS for just $100.
Call 866-630-2694. We are the only company that is confident enough in our services to offer a 100% money-back guarantee if we can't put you in a better position than where you started. All you need to do is call for a free consultation. 866-630-2694. You may even qualify to save up to 99% off your tax debt. Call Anthem today and we'll also take care of your tax case study for free, saving you hundreds of dollars. 866-630-2694. 866-630-2694.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the Law Office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the Law Office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to the Ask Brien Radio Show, and Mr. Isaac Rau, how do you spell Brien?
I-E-N.
That is correct.
And Bronstein is E-I-N.
That is
Okay.
correct.
Got
And
it.
what did you win for that? You won an entire interview on the Ask Brien Radio Show.
Thank you.
Woo!
Thank you very much.
So we were talking about. Well, I asked you, Isaac, if you've ever been sued before, and why. The reason why I asked is because if you haven't, you're probably not alive.
You're
right?
not alive. You're not living. You're not until you've been to court. You're not living.
Or been on the Ask Brien Radio Show.
Until you've been in the downtown LA courthouse, you are not living. With the marble walls, no phone reception in there. You know.
So can you give any advice to any words of wisdom to kind of prepare if like as being a business owner to the listeners out there?
Wow. Well, that's a good question. But I mean, since my good friend Peter here is an attorney, a business attorney, You kind of got to get some kind of starter package going of your documents. You need your partnership agreement. You need your business formation. You need, and then you need all your agreements that you do, like your lease. I mean, everything needs to be looked at by either an attorney or a consultant, who is, if you have a consultant as well, they could look at it, or you just read the dang thing yourself, and focus on it, and making sure you have a good agreement with your clients. But at the same time too, when you have an agency, when you're getting new clients, you can't take 2 months to send them or a week or 2 weeks to send them an agreement. You got to pump them out really quick. So it's kind of one thing that separates certain companies. But yeah, you have to have a system to be able to get agreements quick.
Brian,
So-
do you have a take on any of this?
Well, a couple of things. Obviously, there's a little bias there because I am an attorney. But if you didn't have an attorney, I would say at a minimum, yes, what I would do is I would read the entire agreement and then make notes of things that I did not know and make a list. And then if there's 5 or 6 questions that you don't know the answers to, or you're not sure what they mean, or you're concerned about those, then you call the attorney, pick their brain, and get the information. That's probably the most economical way you could do that if you didn't have an attorney and you were trying to find out, make sure you're trying to protect yourself and you can't afford one. That's how I would do it. And then you pretty much, then it's really on you, right? Because you've read through it. Whatever you understand, you understand. As long as things that you don't understand, you find answers to it.
Yeah,
You've
I
got
mean,
the
one
same
thing
goal.
that's cool too is they have the VeriSign, DigiSign now, where you can upload a agreement and you can just get it signed online. You can sign it online, so you don't have to print it out anymore and fax it
Right.
like you had to do back in the day. So you can get agreements going, like an NDA. You can be talking to somebody, maybe do business with, and we got to get an NDA, and then you can get the NDA signed quicker.
But you need to have the NDA. But I want to focus a little bit about your background because we have you on the show here today.
Cool.
To try to find some information out, and you're going to tell us something about SEO.
About SEO.
No, I thought that your friend.
My friend,
Mr. So.
my friend, Mr. SEO. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had that last name as a last name, because there's people with that last name, and I know people with that last name, so it'd be
So-
very, very convenient. Very convenient.
So let's try to understand. First, I want to explain what SEO is, and then I want to explain the difference between just standard SEO and local SEO.
So, it's getting ranked. It's getting seen in the search engines. Google is the biggest vehicle to find anything right now. Like I was saying earlier before the break, I went to a mall the other day. There was 9 kids standing around in a circle, and they're all on their phones. 20 years ago, they would have been all in a circle talking. They're on their phones. Half the time they're probably looking at things on the internet, and half the time they're actually communicating with each other, which is pretty funny. But so people are looking for things online. They're not in the phone book. Word of mouth obviously is a way to find people, but Google is digital word of mouth. So SEO is doing whatever you possibly can do to get your business found online. And Google is the biggest vehicle for that. So that's why Google gets so much attention.
Okay, so that's SEO. What is the difference between just SEO and local SEO?
So there's two things. There's local SEO and SEO. Local SEO is when you do a search on Google, there's 3 listings that show right below a map. So that's local SEO, getting in that 3-pack, getting shown up there. And then the regular SEO, which is called organic SEO, those are the 10 listings below. And then you can go to the next pages after that. So there's 13 listings. There's the 3 in the 3-pack local, and then there's the 10 below that. In the
So I
organic.
think if the best thing you could do would be in the local SEO number 1, and then in the organic ranking number 1.
Exactly.
And how would you
Exactly.
do that without giving away your secret sauce?
Okay, so just first and foremost, just if you're not gonna hire a company to help you with your business, to promote your business, just go to Google My Business, and make sure you have a Google My Business account and just set it up. Like there could be somebody who, they're a photographer or they're a dog groomer or a mobile car detailer. Go to Google My Business on your phone set up the account. It's free. Put your photos in there. Put your logo if you have one. Description, phone number, all that. And then just treat your clients just amazing. Treat your clients as good as you possibly can. Treat them as good as you can. As good as you can, possibly can. Deliver them service. Don't rip them off. If there's any type of miscommunication, side with them. So you will have reviews. You will have good reviews on that. So
Well, you can't always do that. For instance, a good example, I could ask you a question.
Yeah.
Somebody's been paying you $10,000 a month for 3 years. They paid you $360,000. They get upset with you. They're angry at you. They're going, I'm not on Google's first page. I want my money back. You don't have $360,000.
Well,
so you can't always do that.
I'm not talking from a. I'm talking to like a restaurant owner right now.
Yeah.
You know, say if there's a miscommunication with an order, just give them give them side with them, so you don't get that bad review on Yelp
Now,
or Google.
So it sounds to me like you're saying that part of the SEO process is having good reviews.
Good reviews is local, a big part of local SEO. Yeah.
What are the other big parts of SEO to get ranked?
Okay, so when Google came around in 2002, 2003, it was pretty mind-blowing because all the search engines before that were these portals, you know, like Yahoo, there's Ask Jeeves, Lycos, Alta Vista,
Excite,
stuff like that. And there were these portals with news, and they were trying to do everything, trying to do email, news, instant messaging, all kinds of stuff. So that's what was great about Google when it started. It was just a screen with a box and a search.
It still is.
Yeah. So
just a little bigger.
And it was fast. It was fast and it was relevant. So what everybody started trying to do in 2002, 2003, it was easy to game it. So you would just, if you wanted to get ranked, to manipulate it. So if you wanted to get ranked for Business Attorney Century City, you just create a page that says Business Attorney Century City. Just put that keyword on there 25 times. You get ranked number 1. So after a year, Google was like, wait, you know, this is creating low quality results. So then they came up with link popularity, which link popularity has to do with incoming links from relevant, authority, valuable, important websites getting pointed to your site and referencing your site and talking about your site. And that's when link popularity came aboard. So the most important thing is the link signals to your website. If you're an attorney in Century City, and
there are a couple of attorneys in Century City, I heard.
There are. You're in the epicenter. You're in the epicenter of everything, Peter. Okay, epicenter of everything. Okay, so if you have a website, and you start a website tomorrow, and you're trying to get ranked for business attorney in Century City, you're not gonna be. Are you gonna be on page 1? You think?
I'm looking
You
for
know the
page
answer
1,000.
to that. Yeah, the answer to that. But what about the guy down the hall who has had the site for 10 years, and he has Forbes magazine or Forbes magazine, Forbes.com, mentioning his site and linking to his site, and he has Washington Post mentioning his site and linking to his site, and he has Yelp linking to his site, and Yelp has a bunch of good reviews about him, and then he has on Twitter, people are talking about on Twitter. Who would you choose to rank on page 1?
Me.
Exactly. Exactly not. Exactly not. Unts. So not. So you know the answer to that, my man.
Well, I do know the answer, but okay. First of all, you can't. Not every attorney, and it doesn't matter if you're an attorney or whatever business you're in. Okay, it takes a while to do link building, and it takes a while to get your rankings up. How do you move up the ranking chain?
How do you move up the ranking chain? So, like I said, link signals is most important. You also have, I mean, the on page has got to get set up right. That's where it helps to hire a company, or hire a geek somewhere to make sure the on page SEO is set up correctly. Incoming links, content is big. Content is big. So you're going to have content relevant to the keyword, It's got to be unique. It's got to be well written. There's a list of 25 different factors for content.
And do you have an address for those?
For that list?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll send it to you after the show.
Okay, and so how could somebody reach you?
How can someone reach me? They could go to our website.
What is your website?
It's Proactive SEO Solutions.com.
With an S.
With an S.
And if they go there, they'll be able to get that list.
Yes.
Or do they need to contact you directly?
They'll have to. We have a chat. They can chat with us. There's a phone number. There's a contact form. So 3 ways to contact us.
And then you'll be giving out that list to any listener that's listening to Ask Brien.
And this list is straight from Google. Straight from Google.
Straight from Google.
Straight from Google.
Yeah, I'm looking at your website right now through my on my phone, and it's so clean.
Thanks.
It's beautiful. And
Yeah, I mean
he has a cleaning lady every week.
It's blood, sweat, and tears building some of these websites.
I just love how simple it is. You've got web design, additional app design, call tracking, content creation, IT, multi-language design, press releases, reputation management, all of these amazing features, which I would love to dive into. Which one of these features is your most popular?
I would say the SEO,
SEO?
the web design, and then reputation would be the top 3.
That sounds pretty interesting, reputation management.
I mean, like I said, digital word of mouth. Your reputation is now quantified, whereas before it was just in words. But now there's a number attached to your reputation from 1 to 5.
Wow.
So, you want that number to be as close to 5 as possible.
How many people are implementing reputation management in their businesses, do you find?
I mean, I even had a call when I was on my way up, driving up here, about somebody who's they had some really bad press about them, and how can you can't really do a blanket solution for every situation. I mean, everyone has their own situation.
Now you sound like an attorney.
Isaac Rau,
It depends.
attorney at law.
Depends.
Attorney at law. I'm your partner. Okay.
Well, we need a
Put me
partnership.
in the
We need a partnership agreement first.
I'm gonna litigate. I'm gonna litigate without a law degree. But so where were we? So everyone has some people don't have enough reviews. Some people have.
What's a good amount of reviews to have? And don't say it depends.
If you can get like 50 to 75, that's
50 to 75. You think is pretty.
That's good.
Pretty good magical number.
That's
to get.
good.
And that's one part of SEO as well, right?
So there's a lot of different review sites. There's Google. There's Yelp. Depending on what kind of profession you're in, there's probably a review site, an industry standard review site for your profession. Like in law, there's Avvo, right? Avvo is probably the one. Or Martindale.
Martin, which is now lawyers.com.
Yeah.
FindLaw.
So
those are probably
if you could have 50 to 75 in there and you have a really high rating, that's solid. That's really solid.
That's going to move you up the ranking.
That's going to help your ranking. It's going to help your conversions. It's going to help. It's going to kind of syndicate out.
And besides reputation management, what is another? Besides reputation management and backlinking, what is a good thing to have for SEO to rank high?
To rank high, so your pages got to get up so well, got to be set up well. The on page.
How do you know if it's set up well?
There's a lot of different tools you can run it through. There's a lot of really good site audit tools you can run it through. And it'll kick out a score, and it'll show. It can identify issues right away. But obviously, you need to have a human, analyze it. It's kind of like if you're taking an X-ray of a bone, you need to have a doctor look at it. So you need to have somebody who can understand it, look at it, and analyze it. But usually, people aren't doing enough, because the content can just it can kind of get. It can get built out and out and out. I mean, you can go very far with it. Like I'm sure you get a lot of new questions all the time. So imagine if you had a page about addressing that question. Imagine if every time you got a new question, Peter, you created a page with that answer. And if you did that for 20 years, you'd have a very comprehensive website, and you'd be showing for all those questions that people ask. You know, maybe it's a very super long tail question.
So it's more like the reverse pyramid, an upside down pyramid. You start out and you grow and you grow and you grow, and that's how it happens. But Lindsay has a lot of questions. She had one.
Well, I mean, I was just thinking, you know, where does the data come in all of this? You know, let's say, you know, a company has a certain database. Do you guys work with that? Does that apply to SEO?
Well, for some websites, if you have a website, maybe 20 or 30 pages or less, you can kind of build it all manually. You don't really need to tap a database in. But if we're migrating a large website over and rebuilding it on a new platform, that's when we tap into the database. We export the database. We have to format it.
What's the minimum amount of pages
content.
that we need to get to a database, you think?
40.
So if you're at 40, you should be thinking about database.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be efficient. So if you're manually creating 40 pages, or you could just use a database and spend the time downloading the contents of the database, formatting it, and then uploading it into the new database to populate hundreds of pages. It's more efficient use of your time. It's also more accurate. Yeah.
So if a company wants to hire, let's say, your services, how do you guys communicate together? Do you use like Slack or Trello, and how do you guys relay each other's ideas so that you have clarity?
Yeah, so Slack is we internally use Slack, and
wonderful.
I use it with a couple clients.
I guess we have a break right now. We'll be right back.
Comfort Keepers provides your loved one with loving in-home care.
Miles McNamara, certified senior advisor and owner of Comfort Keepers in-home care.
Our caregivers can help you in your own home, enhancing independence, creating safety and comfort. Our Comfort Keepers provide companionship, meal preparation, medication reminders, assistance with personal care, and even transportation to doctor's appointments. If someone you love can use a helping hand at home, visit comfortkeepers.com.
Or call 287-4200.
When you're looking for a midnight snack, sometimes fast food just doesn't cut it. California Bakery and Cafe is open 24/7, so you'll be able to find fresh donuts, danishes, bagels, all-natural fruit juices, gourmet sandwiches, and much more at any hour. With elaborate cakes for any occasion, including weddings, baptisms, anniversaries, corporate events, or any special event. California Bakery and Cafe in Santa Clarita is open 24 hours to satisfy any craving, anytime. Call us, 255-1254. That's 255-1254.
Set your kids' creativity with a new twist on fun, Painting with a Twist, where professional artists guide your child during each painting party to create a finished work of art they can proudly hang at home or give to a loved one. Private parties, birthday parties, Friday night teen night, kids camp, daily events all summer. Visit paintingwithatwist.com. Under new ownership on Golden Valley in Santa Clarita near Target. Painting with a Twist is your party destination for kids of all ages.
If you're in danger of losing your home to foreclosure, you need an expert. Hi, I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty. I've helped hundreds of Santa Clarita residents save their homes completely for free. I've got just over 20 years experience and a loan modification success rate of over 80%. I can negotiate better terms with your bank and I can save your home from foreclosure. And again, we do this completely for free. So if you're in any danger, please call me today at 661-714-1400. That number again is 661-714-1400. I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty, and I'll be happy to help you save your home for free.
Hey, we're trying to breathe down here. Oh, not again. Don't people know that when they dump their used oil improperly, it makes its way to the Santa Clara River? Oh, you should tell them how they can recycle it.
Well, it's simple. Go to greensantaclarita.com to find the oil recycling location nearest you. And take your used motor oil and filters there to be recycled. It's free.
You can even find where to pick up a free oil change kit to make it easier.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the Law Office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the Law Office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Ask Brien Radio Show. Mr. Engineer, how do you spell Brien?
Brien.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I think I finally trained him. All right, now we're back. And we have my great co-host, Mr. Lindsay. Mann.
Thank you.
Got it in. Okay,
Thank
go.
you. So we're coming back to the question that I asked Isaac, and that is how he communicates. How do you communicate with your clients? And you said you use Slack, which Slack is actually not doing so great on the market right now, right? Dropped down.
Whoa.
But anyway,
The expressions expressed are just Lindsay's.
we know they're going to come back up. So Slack is it's very important. What is the biggest challenge that you face in your business right now?
Well, regarding communication, most business owners, 9 to 4, 10 to 4, they're pretty swamped. They're pretty swamped with seeing their patients or seeing with their customers, just conducting business. So we've identified the best time to communicate is before or after business hours. So also we work with a lot of clients on the East Coast and Midwest as well. So since I have my team living close, we can start early. So, we start at 7. We open our doors at 7, 6:30, 7.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when we have really good conversations with them. And then, also all my departments have cell phones. So that text. So a lot of people like texting.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's better than talking on the phone because you really want to document everything, especially if you're a business owner providing a service. You want to make sure that you have it right there. It's clear as crystal to the customer because they can always come back and say, "Oh, I didn't say that," or I thought you meant this, and it's misunderstanding.
Hold on, half my business is from that.
Exactly.
Misunderstanding.
So
and people not saying the right thing.
I know it's such an important key. So, as far as like a business plan of like how what services they're going to use first, how they're going to do it, how much money, their budget, and all that stuff.
I mean, they have to have a nice presentation. You can work with a doctor who went to a great Ivy League school and who's a great doctor, fantastic doctor, but no one knows that. No one knows that unless there's the right presentation of that person that reflects who they are. So just because they're a fantastic doctor and they're very smart, that they're not going to be ranked higher because of that, unless you create a presence for them and a presentation that reflects that. Mm-hmm. So that's the first and foremost thing. When somebody lands on their site or lands on their social media or lands on one of their review sites, those things have to be set up right and have to be optimized as good as possible. Yeah.
What is a typical time frame? I know that there's a job, everything varies, but for a new business, starting out, just getting off the ground, how long would you say it would take to?
So they're going to start seeing rankings very quickly for their brand, for their business name, for their brand instantly, and for their name. But to get ranked for some of the keywords that thousands of other businesses or hundreds of other businesses are going after, there's a lot of competition there. So some keywords, there's even more like personal injury attorney Beverly Hills. That's a very expensive keyword. There's a lot. It's a very lucrative keyword.
Best dentist, New York City.
Best dentist,
New York City.
Maybe like mobile dog groomer in some small town. Less competition, so you could get ranked for that very quickly. Mm-hmm. And then, so it's about 6 to 9 months.
Okay.
Just to get ranked for the really good keywords. that are going to start driving new patients.
When you say ranked, how high are we talking? Second page, third page, or
top page, first page?
You think you can get that someone with a Beverly Hills personal injury attorney?
That is like a home run keyword. You know, that's an. I mentioned that because that's an exception. You know, there's these exceptional keywords out there that if you could get ranked for, like, you know, I heard you. Yeah. So, you know.
Anyway, we gotta be tying it up, unfortunately.
Okay.
We're gonna have you back in another show.
All right.
And you guys can find Isaac at Proactive SEO Solutions.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you very much.